Hey folks, welcome to my channel, and today I really wanted to revisit the topic of keto and calories. Just a disclaimer, I am not a doctor. I get all of my information from the internet, so I guess you could call me an internet scholar. But I do consider myself kind of an expert in ketogenic weight loss. If you know nothing about me, I used to weigh 320 pounds. I was a fat kid, fat young adult throughout my entire life. And then in 2015, I started a ketogenic weight loss journey. I lost 170 pounds in 2 years. And I've basically been in maintenance mode for the rest of that time. The year after COVID, I did gain about 20 pounds and then I had to re-lose it, but I still use the methods that I used the first time on keto. So if you're interested in losing lots of weight or just maybe 20, 15 pounds, I hope that this video helps and answers any of your questions when it comes to keto and calories. So do calories really matter when it comes to keto? The short answer, yes. Yes, they do. They matter a whole bunch. So there's your answer. But let's talk about why. So it's well known, you've probably seen this before, but when it comes to weight loss, there is an acronym that everybody uses, and it's CECO. CECO stands for calories in, calories out, and it's based on the tenets that if you overeat or if you consume too many calories, you're going to store those calories as fat. If you underconsume or eat at a calorie deficit, you will burn the fat from your body. And if you just consume your maintenance calories, you're not overeating or undereating, then you won't gain or lose any fat. So every weight loss diet uses CECO as a basis. It's just the way that our bodies work. We need energy. If we burn more energy than we consume, we lose fat. If we consume more energy than we burn, then we gain fat. But this video is about a keto lifestyle and calories. So the first thing we have to understand is, what is ketosis and why is it helpful for weight loss? So normally with our everyday lives, our bodies run on sugar. Well, when you consume less sugar overall, that means that your glycogen and blood glucose reserves are low. And when they're low, this causes a metabolic shift in your body, and your body begins to produce ketones for energy. It has to produce these ketones because your brain can either run on that sugar or it can run on ketones. And how does your body produce these ketones? Well, it uses your stored body fat. So put more simply, when you run out of sugar, your body starts to run on fat. And this is why we call ketosis fat burning mode, because you are literally turning your stored fat into energy. So that stored fat is broken down to produce the ketones that your body will run on, and breaking down stored fat means weight loss. Wonderful, right? We are burning fat and losing weight. So now that we know that ketosis is when your body burns stored fat in order to create ketones, let's talk about what makes a ketogenic diet. So a ketogenic diet is a diet that induces the state of ketosis, or that fat burning mode. Now remember, to be in that state of ketosis, you had to reduce the amount of sugar that you ate. So a ketogenic diet is a diet where you reduce that sugar so low that your body is forced to break down your stored fat and turn it into energy. So the only way to get into a state of ketosis through your diet is to reduce your carb intake. Every article or study that I read online says that the max limit is usually 50 grams of carbs per day. I say try and stick to 20 net grams of carbs per day or less. So you'll notice that I did not mention fat in my definition of what makes a diet a ketogenic diet. So this means that eating more fat without changing anything about your carb intake will not put you into a state of ketosis. The only factor that goes into putting your body into a state of ketosis is lowering that sugar so that you're forced to produce your own ketones for energy. Now, of course, we want to be healthy and have enough protein and everything, so these are my 3 tenets for a ketogenic weight loss diet. Keep your carbs below 20 net grams or less per day. Make sure that you have a protein goal so that you do not have hair and nail issues. And also, you don't want to lose any muscle. And then stick to a calorie deficit. So once again, we're going to talk about calories. So why does a ketogenic diet help you lose weight overall? Well, of course, the main reason is that you are burning ketones, you're in that fat burning mode, you're burning stored fat to create energy. But there are also several secondary reasons why I think a ketogenic diet helps people lose weight. I think, and this is my personal opinion, but I think that we get to eat really tasty and satisfying foods. You know, stick some ribs in front of me, stick a sirloin in front of me, some pork chops, you know, some delicious roasted chicken. I love all that food, and all of those things are permissible on a ketogenic diet. These foods also help with satiety because they're higher protein and higher fat, which means that they keep you feeling fuller for longer, which means that you're probably going to eat less overall. When you avoid eating sugar, you're avoiding these spikes in your blood sugar. I call it the blood sugar roller coaster, going up and down. Because when you go down, you feel this hunger. And if you are like me, you can go to the Olive Garden and eat all the bread, all the breadsticks, big bowls of pasta, endless pasta bowls. And then 2 hours later, you are hungry again. You're looking for a snack in the fridge. That used to be me. I was on that blood sugar roller coaster, just eating all the carbs, going up and then crashing real hard. And then I felt hungry again. But when you keep your blood sugar at a baseline and you're not going up and down too much, you don't have those big spikes that cause you to feel that hunger. Another secondary reason I think keto is so useful when it comes to weight loss is that it's easy to maintain a modern lifestyle on a ketogenic diet. Any restaurant you go to, you're basically going to be able to find something that you can eat. If it's not directly on the menu, you can always, make substitutions, ask them to hold a sauce or a side. And so basically you can maintain a social life with friends and family pretty easily on this diet. And the last reason I think it's really helpful for weight loss, and this is just my own personal experience, is that I just find it so easy to say, that's a list of food that I cannot eat. Bread, pasta, candy, all these things, potatoes. But these are all the things that I can. And so I just look at these foods. And so it really helps me, to keep the guesswork out of weight loss and weight maintenance. So you have been eating a ketogenic diet and your body is in ketosis, aka fat burning mode. Why do calories matter at this point? I mean, Allie, I'm in fat burning mode. Why do I have to watch my calories? Remember, your body has to convert stored fat to create that energy. We have to eat, right? We need those nutrients, we need protein, we got to keep our bodies going. So if you eat at a calorie deficit, that means that your body's got to run out of eaten food to burn, and it's going to have to go into your fat stores, aka it's going to have to start burning the fat from your arms, your belly, your thighs, wherever you got some extra fat. But that only happens if you're eating at a calorie deficit. Once again, if you eat at maintenance calories, you won't gain or lose weight. And if you're over consuming on calories, your body is going to store that energy as fat. And so you're going to gain weight. Even though I think keto is pretty magical, there are still some limitations to how magical it can be. Trust me, I wish that I could eat all the keto-friendly food that I wanted all the time, but that's just not how the world works. So yes, calories still matter, even with all these wonderful benefits of a ketogenic lifestyle. But Allie, I keep hearing about these ketogenic diet percentages. So you might have seen like the 75% fat, 20% protein, 5% carbs. You can do that, but I'll be honest, I never reach that fat limit. If anything, I keep my carbs low and then I up my protein. That's just how I like to do. I like to make sure that I hit my protein goal, and it's definitely okay to go over your protein goal. I think that's because, you'll find proteins in things like meats rather than like butter. And so butter is all fat, so a little pat of butter is not gonna fill you up too much. But like, some extra chicken or an extra piece of steak will definitely make you feel fuller for longer. It'll make you feel more satisfied, like you actually ate something. And so that's why I always say in my videos, don't worry about the fat macro or the fat percentage. Just make sure that you keep your carbs low, you eat a protein goal at least, and then you stay at or below your calorie limit. I also want to throw in here that I suggest using fat strategically. So what I've been doing is at night, I'll have my 2 tablespoons of peanut butter with some dark chocolate. And I think that incorporating that fat at the nighttime and the evening allows me to go through the next morning without feeling too hungry until lunchtime. So I kind of use that fattier peanut butter to hold back my hunger a bit until it's time to eat. Also, I think fat's really good for like a snack to tide you over. Sometimes I forget my lunch when I'm going to work, and so I stop by my house real quick and I just eat some slices of cheese, and I know that that will keep me going until dinner time. So I don't say be afraid of fat, but do be aware of how calorically dense a little bit of fat can be, right? A pat of butter is 100 calories. 2 tablespoons of peanut butter is about 200 calories. So just be careful when it comes to fat. Don't just add it in willy-nilly. You gotta be precise with your fat intake. Also, fat tastes good and it can be a little addictive, If I could maintain my calorie limit and feel satiated, I would eat bacon all the time. I'd eat all the cheese, but those things don't fill up a stomach. And so you'd have to eat lots and lots of them. And because they're so fatty, they're much more higher calorie. So it's good to balance those things out with leaner meats and fresh vegetables so that you get that volume feeling in your stomach, which also helps you feel more satisfied. So that was more about fat, but back to calories. But Allie, it's not good for your mental health to be counting calories all the time. My rebuttal is that it was not good for my physical or mental health when I was 320 pounds. My being overweight throughout all my life caused such mental agony for me, and I was beginning to see the physical effects of my weight gain throughout my life. You know, I was afraid to park far away in the parking lot, and when I kind of sort of lived in Montreal for a while, I was afraid to just walk a few blocks to the grocery store. So being overweight took a toll on my physical and mental health. I felt like I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do. I was not happy in my body. And I understand that a lot of that not being happy mentally with how you look and how you feel has to do with our beauty standards. But honestly, I just was not the person that I wanted to be. And now, after setting some limits on myself, after having some self-control, I do feel like I am much, much closer to the person that I've always wanted to be. So that's just my feel about that. Also, too, once you kind of get in the groove of things and you figure out, you know, how weight loss works and weight maintenance works, you can really cut down on the food logging. For example, oftentimes, like when I go to the grocery store once a week, I'll make my first meals and I'll count all of that like for one day. And then I'll just repeat that. And I don't have to count it again. So I really don't have to worry about taking the time to sit down and measure everything, plug it into my weight loss app, because I've already done it and I kind of know like what to expect. So no, logging and measuring your food isn't going to take a whole lot of time. And it's pretty easy to do without much of a learning curve. But Allie, I did keto and I didn't have to count anything and I lost 20 pounds. Yeah, me too. So like my first month or so of keto, I wasn't really logging well or measuring well or anything. And yeah, I lost a bunch of weight that first month. The first couple weeks, I'm sure it was all water weight. And I think I was naturally losing fat as well without having to really count or log very much, because I was just cutting out so many calories naturally. So for example, I used to go to Subway and I would get 2 subs, 2-foot-longs. I was a bingy girl back in the day, okay? But I replaced that with just getting a big Subway salad. And so by naturally cutting out all the bread that I used to eat, I was cutting out hundreds of calories from just one meal. So yes, in the beginning, you probably won't have to weigh very much or log very much if you're serious about cutting out carbs from your life. You know, if you're switching from eating Little Debbie snack cakes to eating sugar-free Jell-O, you are just cutting out so many calories overall. And that works great in the very beginning, but you might find that your weight loss is beginning to stall. That is because you're getting closer and closer to your maintenance calories. So that's a good time when you realize that your weight loss is slowing down to use my favorite ketogenic calculator. I always link it in my videos. I'm not affiliated with them. It's just the one that I've always used throughout weight loss and weight maintenance. So I would plug in your stats and I say, you know, stick to 20% of a calorie deficit and use that to guide you for your calorie limit. And then I also recommend that once you lose another 10 pounds, recalculate your stats, because the smaller that you get, that means that you're going to need less calories overall. So when we talk about calories, what are 3 things when you're losing weight that will totally kill and bulldoze over your calorie limit? And this is from my own experience. So these are the 3 things that totally killed me. Eating out all the time. I have made several videos about going out to eat while on keto, and I say try not to eat out more than once, maybe twice a week. You know, eating out really should be a treat, because if you're eating out all the time, you are just going to be naturally consuming more calories and probably more carbs, because you don't know really what all of the ingredients are for everything all the time. They're going to use way more fat when they're cooking. They're going to be just including all these ingredients. So when you cook at home, you have much more control over your calorie consumption. The second thing that will kill your calories is alcohol. It's true. Even if you drink seltzers, if you drink 2 seltzers a day, that's 200 calories. So if you're trying to lose weight, I say cut out alcohol as much as you can. But as always, the ketogenic lifestyle is malleable to your lifestyle. So if you enjoy going out to happy hour on Fridays with your work friends, do that, but just make sure not to overconsume those calories and alcohol. And then keto-friendly sweet treats. Oh man, I'll tell y'all what. I have made so many videos about, keto sweet treats, and I always say make sure that they remain treats. So not really something that you're going to want to make all the time or have every single day. Keto sweet treats are oftentimes fat bombs, like they are very fat based, just with like some sweetener and flavors thrown in, and they will kill your calories. I have to be honest, I found a block of cream cheese in the back of my fridge, and I said, ooh, I got some Splenda and I got some peanut butter. Let me just use this cream cheese, get it out of my life. So I whipped up Splenda, peanut butter, and cream cheese, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna portion this out for 5 days. Nope, y'all, I ate that little sweet treat in like 2 hours. So even though I have lost all my weight and I have been in maintenance for years now, I still struggle when it comes to keto-friendly sweet treats. So just be wary of those, because I definitely ate like 1,200 calories within 2 hours and it was all fat. And the last little tip for when it comes to keto and calories, there are really only 2 tools that you need to have with you. You need to have a good food scale that measures food. I always suggest in grams. I just like grams, it keeps everything on the same measurement system. I don't know why we're still using ounces and pounds. Don't come at me. But measuring your food on a gram scale can really help you see what a real portion is. It can help you see how much you are overeating, and it just helps you when you're making sure that you're not going over on calories and that you're not, eating too many carbs or not enough protein. And then a food log app. I like Lose It. I don't have the premium version. Not affiliated with them in any way. It's just the one that I liked the most when I started, and so that's what I've been using. But it's a really good idea, especially when you start out, to track what you're eating so that you can see how the food's affecting you and what foods are helping your weight loss or stalling your weight loss. Well, folks, that's about it for today. Like I said, this was kind of a revisiting of keto and calories. I made a video like this years ago. The quality's really bad, so I really wanted to redo it. Honestly, I don't even know if I'd call like my lifestyle keto. I just call it healthy, low carb. I mean, I really stick to the 20 net grams of carbs or less per day. But to me, I'm just eating, lean meats and vegetables and adding in some fat for some fun, But I guess that technically is keto because, like I said, the only way to be in a state of ketosis is to keep that sugar low. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video and found it informative and maybe fun. Let me know. And what are your questions when it comes to the ketogenic diet for weight loss or weight maintenance? Feel free to leave me a comment down below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. That would help me out so much. And if you'd like to follow me on social media, I will link all of that down below. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. My name's Allie. Have a good one. Bye.